Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. It's Tuesday. It's time to talk about some new releases coming out this Friday, January 6th. There's not a whole lot coming out. There's about 100 or a little over 100 titles coming out, but I got 11 on the list today, including 6 that are part of the Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right series. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check all those out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music weekly playlists we put together, and also the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So last week ended up being a pretty light week as far as releases go, but there is some really good stuff coming out this week, even though it is kind of a short list. You know, normally on a normal week, we normally have between 3 to maybe 450 titles coming out in a normal week. So we're still kind of low, just over 100 or right around 100 titles. But over the next couple of weeks, they'll definitely pick up. But like I said, there's some really cool stuff, especially with those Rhino releases coming out this week. I will say if you're unable to find any of these in your local store, I'll put links down below for at least the non-Rhino releases are all available on Amazon. I'll find a store online. I'll see if I can find a store online that's selling these or has these Rhino albums listed. I'll put links down below for those also. So the first two on the list are both brand new albums. The first one, this is Anti-Flag, Lies They Tell Our Children. This is their 13th studio album. There's 2 different versions of this that are going to be available. There's a black version that's going to run you around $23 online, and then there's a white version that's going to be $1 more. Of course, Anti-Flag, their punk band, started back in 1988, known for being very political in their punk rock. Some of their stuff's I think they're kind of hit or miss. Some of their albums I love. Some of their stuff I could do without, but I'll definitely check that new album out. And then the next one, this is Iggy Pop, Every Loser. This is Iggy's 20th studio album. It's going to run you about $22 online. Of course, Iggy, one of the godfathers of punk. Of course, all the stuff that he did with the Stooges back in the late 60s, early 70s is really what he's known for. But I've loved, along the same lines as Anti-Flag, I love some of Iggy's solo stuff. I can kind of do without some of it also, but I'm definitely looking forward to streaming both of those albums. The next album is one that's had several variants released over the last few months. I think this is just a reissue of the standard black version. This is Queensryche Digital Noise Alliance. It's going to run you about $33 online. It's a double LP. It was released originally back October 7th of last year. Like I said, there's been several versions of this. I know there's a glow in the dark version. There was a splatter version. I think there was a purple version, and maybe a couple other ones also. So several that have been available out there. That this actually charted really well here in the U.S. It reached number 14 on the Billboard Top 200. So that's pretty big for a rock album in the 2020s. I'd say there's not a whole lot that have gotten high, in the top 20 or so, but it's one that I haven't checked this album out. Actually, I need to go back and give it a listen. I'll do that before I head to the store this week, though. And then this week you've also got the debut album from Tori Amos being reissued. This is Little Earthquakes. It first came out back in 1992. Tori actually did an album previously before this album came out with a band called Why Can't Tori Read? So this is why it's kind of listed. This is listed as her debut solo album instead of her debut album. It's going to run you about $30 online. This is all newly remastered. It comes on a double LP. I'm not the biggest Tori Amos fan. This is actually one of her albums that I do like. Depending on it's $30 online, so we'll see what it is in stores. Maybe a couple of bucks more, but that'll be one that I might pick up this week. And then this next one, this is King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard live in Paris. So this is listed as an official bootleg, which I don't know why they listed it like that. I mean, if the band is releasing it, the label's releasing it, it's not really a bootleg. But anyway, it just call it a live album if you really want to. But anyway, this was recorded October 14th, 2019 in Paris. It's a 3 LP box set. I'm not sure what else is included in this. All I saw was just the track listing and that it was on 3 LPs. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, they're a band that I've gotten more into over probably the last 6 to 8 months, I started digging into. I mean, they've got so many albums; it's absolutely ridiculous. But this one's gonna run you about $60 online, so it's probably a little pricier than I'm willing to pay for something like that. But if you're a fan of their music, it's definitely a good one to check out. And then last on the list, we got 6 of the of those Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right releases. So beginning of every year or last several years, I don't know when they started doing this, but Rhino for the whole month of January will release or reissue, some really cool releases that maybe haven't been widely available for a while, or they release some really cool looking colored variants of these albums. But anyway, the first one, this is Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. This is on green vinyl. It was originally released back in 1988. It's a compilation of tracks off of Dire Straits' first 5 albums, and it's kind of pricey, I think, for what it is. It's gonna run you $45 online. It's the only of the Rhino releases that are more than 20. I think all the other ones are all $26, other than that Dire Straits one. But I think Dire Straits is one of those bands that, even though I do love a lot of their music, I could probably get away with just a greatest hits compilation. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then you've got ZZ Top, Eliminator. It says colored vinyl, but it doesn't say what color it is. So I'm not sure if there's going to be multiple versions of this or what's going on with this one. But this was first released back in 1983. It's celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. This one, it was a huge album here in the U.S. I think it went diamond here in the U.S. But it's going to be $26 online. I've already got an original pressing that sounds absolutely fantastic, so I'm going to pass on that one. But Eliminator's a great album. If you don't have it, it's definitely a good one to grab. You get 2 of the greatest, at least in my opinion, the greatest progressive rock albums being reissued as part of this Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right releases or series that they're doing. The first one, this is Yes, Fragile. This was first released back in 1971. That's their 4th studio album. Like I said, it just, in my opinion, it's probably, if I had to make a list of the top 10 progressive rock albums, it would definitely be in there. It's just a fantastic album. And so with this next one. The next one is Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. This was first released back in 73. It's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. It was their 5th studio album. I think both of these albums, Fragile and Selling England by the Pound, are both on clear vinyl. So if you're not a fan of clear vinyl, I know some people out there, don't really like having they think there's sound issues and things like that with clear vinyl, which I've never run into that. But if you aren't a fan of clear vinyl, at least be warned on that. They're both going to run you $26 online, though. So if you're looking for some great progressive rock, I think there's definitely a couple of good ones this week. There was one release on this Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right series that I thought was kind of strange. And off the top of my head, I can't think of any jazz releases over the last several years that they've done. But you can drop me a comment down below. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. But this is John Coltrane, Ole Coltrane. This was released back in 1961. This was John Coltrane's last album on Atlantic before he moved over to Impulse. I think actually by that time he had already recorded one album for Impulse. It just hadn't been released yet. But this is also on clear vinyl. It's a great album. I'm a huge fan of John Coltrane. I've got a bunch of Coltrane albums. There's nothing that he ever recorded that I didn't like. So I'm sure I'm not actually all that familiar with this one. I'm sure if I listen to it, I probably know a couple of tracks off it. But that's definitely one I'm going to grab. And then the last one on the list, this is Ramones' Subterranean Jungle. First released back in 1983. It's celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's Ramones' 7th studio album. It's on violet vinyl. It's going to run you $26, same as most of the other Rhino releases. The interesting thing about Subterranean Jungle is the 2 previous albums to it. The Ramones went in definitely more of a pop kind of direction. I think they tried to get more airplay on the previous couple of albums. And I think the albums overall kind of suffered for it. Subterranean Jungle is definitely a return to that older, more traditional kind of Ramones sound. It's definitely a harder punk rock edge to it. I know Johnny Ramone in an interview was talking about this album and said that when they went into the studio to record it, they wanted to focus on just making a great punk album. and didn't really kind of think about whether or not songs would be good on the radio or not, and just kind of moved forward and wanted to do, like I said, just a great punk album, and it really turned out. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Like I said, there's 11 of the 100 or so albums that are coming out that I talked about. If there's something I didn't talk about in the show today, make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you're looking forward to. Definitely a couple of those Rhino releases are ones that are going to be on my list this week. I definitely got to stream that new Anti-Flag and Iggy Pop. Maybe pick those up. We'll see how the week goes. But let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.